Hi there friends, this is Grace. First of all, I want to apologize for my sexy voice. I have a cold, and so that's why I sound like a horse. But other than that, I feel okay. So this month, I decided that I was going to share with you something that I've done as far as trying to organize my space. I'm sure this is not new. People have done this before, but this is one of those projects that I had wanted to do, never got around to doing it, and then I just decided that I'm gonna do it. So I'm talking about my little black book. So it's literally a black book. This is a little mini book from SCI that was just in my stash, and I made it into a product inventory book. So I've seen a lot of people do this, and like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I just never had a time. So first of all, if you well, I'm just going to tell you all of the things that I've learned while doing this project. First thing is you have to make a list of everything that you want to include in your book. For me, I didn't want to include my pattern paper. I might include my cardstock later on, but for me, the biggest thing that I wanted to add here are my tools, because those are the things that I don't use up, and those are the things that can last me a long time. So that's why I put it in here. So let's just go through it. So the first page is just the title, and I'm eventually going to put a sticker maybe on the back of it that has my information on there, because I'm going to be taking this to the store so that when I buy something I don't double up, but so that if I do lose it, that it will come back to me. The first one is just my stencils, and I just used I had my stencil, and then I had my ink, and then I had one of those Tim Holtz here, I'll show you. One of these Ranger foam things, and so I just went through all of my my stencils. I punched out 1 1/4 inch square pattern, cardstock, white cardstock, and then I laid my stencil on top of that, and then I just rubbed the stencil so that you can see parts of the accents of the stencil on this piece of paper. Another thing to take into consideration if you're going to be making an inventory book is what size of sample would you want your item to be. For me, this is a good enough size. There are certain stencils that I have, like this hexagon one and this big dot one, that are too big, but I can still I can still understand what they are and still remember which products they are, so I'm good with that. And then the next one is embossing folder. So I grabbed, I think it's a 1 inch circle punch, and I just punched out a bunch of circles from this orange one was laying on my table when I was doing this from a different project. And so I just grabbed that and I ran all of my embossing folders through, and as you can see, I don't have a lot. I do have those little Cuttlebug ones that I decided I'm just going to skip that one, and I'm just going to go with the big ones, because those are the important ones for me, so that I know which ones I can use for cards and for layouts. Okay, the next piece, or the next page, this is actually a plastic covered sheet. I don't know what these books were meant for, but they have like 2 sheets of just paper in the front and also in the back, and then the middle one has sleeves that are about 5 3/4 by 6 inches. So I don't know what they're meant for, what kind of mini book they were for, but I just decided to use this because it was small enough for me to put in my purse, and it still had enough pages that I can put all my stuff in. Okay, going back here, so I noticed I have a lot of washies, so I just tore up a little piece of them, and I tried to block like all of the ones that are the same color, and so I have 2 pages of that. So those are my washi, and also my fabric tapes. I added that one too. And then here are my shape punches. Again, I just used cardstock that I don't normally use. This gray one, I have a lot of these, and so I just started punching out all of my shapes. And I noticed that I have staggering sizes of shapes, like this circle, this square, and also a circle. So I just adhered them on top of each other. And I used a mini glue dot to adhere all these things. So those are my punches, and as you can see, I ran out of the light colored gray, so I went with the dark colored. And here are my corner rounders. I have 3, so I did that one too. And then here are my border punches. Now some of these I didn't write the manufacturers, but for some I did, just so I can recognize which ones. Like if this one broke, then I would definitely know that it's a Fiskars one that I should get and not a different one. So these are all Fiskars, and these ones are all EK Success. And then I have Martha Stewart. I have only 2, and then I have 1 Recollections. So as you can see, I left it blank so that in case I do eventually buy some more, then I can just add them on the bottom. And then here are my mini ink pads. I decided not to do the big ink pads right now, just because I have them in a I have them stamped in a little tag, and so I'm not going to do that. But here are my minis. And the reason why I did my minis is because my minis are in a little container that I tuck away, so when I am doing some projects, I can easily go through here and browse. And that's another thing, the reason why I wanted to do an inventory, not just so that when I go shopping, I know what I have, but at the same time when I'm scrapbooking and I need to find some certain color, I can just go through here and then find what I can use that's already in my stash. And I also labeled this with the manufacturers. So I just used the flower stamp for all of them, and that's what I did. And then here are my mists. I started with Heidi Swap. I have 8 Heidi Swaps, Maya Road, Studio Calico, Color Box, and then I have a ton of the Tattered Angels. So I have that. So I just punched out a pattern paper, a white cardstock, sorry, with butterflies, and then I mist them individually with the different colors. Now I'm not gonna write the colors of them down here because it's already in the bottle. This is just so that it'd be easy for me to see what I have. Now this is kind of ugly, sorry about that, but I couldn't figure out how to do this in a more efficient way. So these are my stickles, my paints, and my gelatos. So my gelatos are here. My acrylic paints, those dollar Plaid Enterprise paints that you get at the store, those are all that, and it's kind of gloppy, I don't care. And then on this side is my stickles. I also have some paints, small acrylic paints, and also these are all Viva Decor. What do you call that? Oh, I think it's like I can't remember what it's called, but it's a Viva Decor is the brand, and Pearl Pens. There you go, Pearl Pens. I also have that there. And then here are my embossing powders. So again, I just punched out white cardstock, and then I picked up a stamp. I chose this stamp because it has a block, and then it also has a space. So I can see what what embossing powder would look like if it was a whole piece that's being embossed or just a little bit of pieces. So these ones you can't really see because this is a clear one and this is a white one. So those are my embossing powders. And then here are my die cuts. So these are the word die cuts that I have. These are from, let me think. Diversions, I believe. So these are just words. And then here are some other shapes of die cuts. And then here are some more shapes. Now these are, this heart and the star are Cuttlebug ones. And they are nesting. And so I just decided to adhere them as is, so I know that they're there. And then here are my nestabilities. So I decided that because they are nesting with each other, that I'll just adhere them just like that. I cut them out on just cardstock and adhere them. So as you can see, I've run out of paper. So what I did was I actually added a few more strips of just, this one is just an embossed cardstock that I don't want anymore, and I adhered it with some washi, and so I was able to add about 3 more pages. So those are my nestabilities, and then that, and then I have a couple more if I wanted to add any more. So that's my little black book of inventory. I hope that this inspired you to make one for yourself if you haven't, or if you do have one, to use it more, and so that you can use more of your supplies. Thank you, and I will see you again. Bye.